For many years, expert wrestling witnessed the complicated relationship between Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan, a story of mentorship that converted into deep-seated resentment as wrestling developed from conventional game to mainstream enjoyment. What transformed this brilliant partnership into certainly one of wrestling's most sour estrangements? The answer lies in a complex net of personal dignity, professional evolution, and education. The Charge of Fame, a tale that well-known shows not just why Andre got here to hate the person he once mentored, however, how their battle embodied wrestling's most profound transformation, the rise before the autumn. Inside the dimly lit corridors of Madison Square Garden circa 1980, an unmistakable parent ruled the panorama of professional wrestling. Andre the Giant, towering over his friends, commanded a presence that transcended the theatrical nature of the sport amongst the ones watching. From the Shadow S was a young muscular performer with bleached blonde hair. Terry Bollea, soon to be recognized global as Hulk Hogan. What started out that nighttime would evolve into one of wrestling's most complex relationships, marked with the aid of appreciation, resentment, and, in the long run, an unspoken animosity that would reshape the industry in the one's early days. Andre did not go through fools gladly, but something approximately Hogan first of all caught his attention. This early mentor-scholar dynamic would prove essential in understanding the depth of their later falling out backstage. Andre took an unusual interest in guiding Hogan's career, sharing insights about crowd psychology and ring presence that few others acquired. However, by using 1,983 diffuse shifts began occurring at some point of a show in Philadelphia, Andre watched one among Hogan's suits on the monitor, and his expression modified. It wasn't anger precisely, but something had shifted. Their courting transformed from harmonious to an increasing number of strains as wrestling itself developed from traditional athletic exhibit to leisure. Empire, the Giant's domain. Inside the unforgiving international of 1970s expert wrestling, Andre the Giant's impact prolonged some distance past his implementing physical stature at 7'4" in over 500. A represented. More than physical dominance, he embodied an unwritten code that ruled the whole enterprise. His presence in any territory carried the load of culture, setting up unspoken rules that formed wrestling's professional subculture, from locker rooms to boardrooms. The device Andre presided over operated on simply described, even though unofficial hierarchies. Veterans commanded, appreciate territories, maintained barriers, and wrestlers paid their dues through a rigorous apprenticeship machine in locker rooms across the USA. Andre's phrase carried the pressure of law, a easy nod, or frown from the large may want to decide a wrestler's destiny, influencing the entirety, from healthy effects to fee structures. This energy wasn't merely granted, it became earned through years of maintaining wrestling's sensitive territorial environment. Andre's booking arrangements discovered the volume of his authority. His contracts protected specific stipulations, approximately, presentation, and remedy. Now not. Theatrical factors, those conflicting visions created a more and more uncomfortable ecosystem in creative discussions. The politics of electricity, the mid-1980s woof behind-the-scenes political panorama resembled a complicated chess sport with Andre Hogan representing opposing philosophies of wrestling's future. Andre's conventional authority based on bodily dominance and wrestling ability confronted new electricity structures built on advertising attraction and entertainment value. This 1349 shift forced Andre to navigate unexpected political waters. Difficult his lengthy held position as wrestling's closing authority. Creative meetings during this era discovered the converting nature of effect in the organization, whilst Andre's opinions on match first-rate and wrestling way of life nevertheless carried weight. Hogan's enter on storylines and man or woman improvement, an increasing number of formed the organization's direction. This evolution pondered broader changes in how wrestling choices have been made, shifting from respect-based totally authority to 1420. Enjoyment pushed metrics. The booking technique itself underwent big transformation. Traditional concerns in shape, best technical execution, retaining kayfabe competed with TV scores, merchandise potential, mainstream attraction. Andre's frustration grew as wrestling moved further from its athletic routes in the direction of natural enjoyment. In particular, whilst Hogan began suggesting changes to Andre's personal fits, the breaking factor, the Montreal 4 incident of past due 1986 represented extra than only a 1456 Private war of words, it marked a crucial moment in wrestling's institutional transformation. The anxiety that were building for years crystallized in a single night. Because the old and new visions of expert wrestling collided with remarkable force, Andre's country that night contemplated deeper institutional stresses. His drinking, even as fantastic, spoke to broader frustrations with wrestling's changing nature. The Giant's position as father or mother of conventional wrestling values confronted an immediate challenge from the amusement. 1527, focused direction embodied by way of Hogan. When Hogan approached to talk about the healthy end, suggesting theatrical elements, like a couple of run-ins and chair pictures, he unknowingly brought on a reaction that went beyond personal war of words. The locker room's collective freeze, while Andre stood up, represented more than worry of physical confrontation. His words, "You want a circus pass? Join the circus that is wrestling," articulated a essential divide within the enterprise. This wasn't merely about suit structure. It spoke to wrestling's very 1601 identity. Disaster, the unexpectedly reorganized main event, proven the practical implications of this ideological clash. Andre's refusal to comply with the scripted finishing wasn't simple defiance, it represented a final stand for wrestling's traditional values. The old guard, embodied with the aid of Andre, faced its final defeat against the leisure technology's unstoppable advance. The ripple effects prolonged beyond that single night time. The incident pressured many wrestlers and promoters to confront their personal ambivalence about wrestling's direction. 1635, a few sided with subculture, others embraced alternate, but all identified that a fundamental shift had occurred. The unstated truth, the duration of 1986 to 1987, discovered deeper currents underlying Rhee's relationship with each Hogan and wrestling's evolution. At some point of lengthy drives among cities, Andre's non-public reflections painted a picture of a man grappling no longer simply with individual grievances, however, with the essential transformation of his life's paintings. His oft-repeated statement that wrestling used to be approximately respect, approximately proving 1709 yourself in the ring carried layers of that means beyond simple nostalgia. Andre's deteriorating bodily situation added cruel irony to his resistance in opposition to wrestling's new direction. At the same time as Hogan embodied the excessive strength, visually dynamic fashion gaining prominence, Andre's body increasingly betrayed his attempts to preserve conventional wrestling's bodily demands. Scientific facts from this period screen the toll of acromegaly accelerating, forcing him to confront now not just wrestling's converting nature but his personal 1740 mortality. The Giant's perspective on Hogan transcended private animosity. When he mentioned Hogan dictating and shape styles and finishes, he addressed broader issues, approximately wrestling's artistic integrity. Conventional wrestling emphasized organic crowd reactions and technical skill ability. The new generation prioritized predetermined emotional peaks and simplified move sets designed for TV impact. This era additionally uncovered the human value of institutional exchange. Andre's resistance wasn't merely approximately maintaining culture, it meditated. 1814, proper situation for wrestling's future practitioners. He feared the emphasis on leisure over approach would leave wrestlers sick, ready to handle the physical demands in their profession, a challenge that could prove prescient in coming decades. The transformation touched every component of the business. Vending meetings, as soon as targeted on simple promotional snapshots and programs, now worried complex licensing offers and cool animated film show possibilities. Andre's refusal to participate in many of these ventures stemmed not from stubbornness, 1846, however, from actual perception in wrestling's dignity as an athletic art shape. WrestleMania 3, The Hidden Story, the March 29, 1987, disagreement at the Antioch Silverdome represented extra than an easy passing of the torch. It embodied wrestling's institutional transformation. Andre's physical situation that day told its very own story. 3 cortisone injections, simply to function every step, a negotiation among professional duty and physical trouble, but the suit's deeper significance lay in its symbolic weight, marking the 1923 definitive transition from wrestling as an athletic contest to natural enjoyment spectacle. The pre-suit environment crackled with competing visions for wrestling's destiny. Andre's insistence on minimum theatrics clashed immediately with the WUFO's difficult manufacturing plans. Each detail had become a battleground: entrance choreography and shape pacing, even Digicom positioning, even as Andre driven for a traditional wrestling fit that might honor the sports activity's foundations. Advertising substances emphasized spectacle. In 1955, larger-than-life drama behind the curtain anxiety manifested in minute details. Andre refused tricky gown additions, maintaining his easy black singlet. This choice, seemingly minor, represented resistance in opposition to wrestling's increasingly more theatrical direction. In the meantime, Hogan's entrance incorporated each to be had special impact whole, with new lighting fixtures, techniques, musical cues designed for television. Impact, the in-shape itself, embodied wrestling's evolution. Conventional ring psychology gave way to simplified 2030 storytelling geared toward TV audiences. Andre's technical actions, although restrained by way of physical decline, attempted to maintain wrestling's traditional dignity. Each movement carried the burden of history, now not simply his personal, however, a whole technology's method to the profession, the commercial enterprise aspect, the financial statistics of 1985 to 1988 screen stark institutional changes beyond private dynamics. Andre's guarantee contracts, traditionally the enterprise's gold stand general, faced eclipse by Hogan's percent-based offers. 2102, incorporating products, royalties, and pay consistent with View shares this shift, pondered fundamental changes in how wrestling valued its performers. By way of 1987 traditional wrestling metrics, gate receipts, healthy quality technical talent, had become secondary to products, income, and television ratings. Hogan's WrestleMania percent alone exceeded Andre's annual guarantee, marking a decisive shift in wrestling's economic model. Advertising reviews show Hogan branded merchandise outselling Andre's through exceptional margins. 2139, reflecting changing target market alternatives and enterprise priorities. The promotional landscape specially highlighted this variation. Andre's resistance to positive promotional activities stemmed from deeply held convictions about wrestling's dignity. Meanwhile, Hogan's embrace of every advertising and marketing possibility, from cool animated film indicates to ice cream bars, confirmed wrestling's new priorities. This wasn't simply about private desire, it meditated competing visions of professional wrestling's essential. 2208, nature. The final tours, the very last run of Andre and Hogan together in 1987 to 1988, painted a poignant photo of wrestling's evolution. Cautious scheduling became required to house Andre's declining health, whilst maintaining the phantasm of the unstoppable giant. Andre could now not manage consecutive nights of bodily hobby at the same time, as Hogan began performing 2 times, and at some point this stark comparison of their competencies created logistical demanding situations that further strained their courting. The anxiety had changed into palpable